everyone, it's Kelsey from Beautifully Broken Creations by Kelsey Bornick Art. I just wanted to jump on to basically introduce myself. One of my goals this year is to get behind the camera a little bit more and get comfortable with being a little more seen, as that is definitely out of my comfort zone. I am definitely more of an introvert kind of person unless I am very comfortable with people around me, and then I'm definitely more extrovert. But to the outside world that doesn't know me, I'm definitely more quiet. So I'm trying to jump out of that box a little and start this new journey of my business, and I've put my face out there and let you know what I am all about. So I wanted to give you some backstory of how my business started. I do have a write-up on my website, which is www.beautifullybrokеncreations.net. So if you want to go there and read it, you are more than welcome to. I've always been creative and used my creativity in many different avenues. I loved dance when I was a kid. I loved doing arts and crafts. I colored and that kind of stuff a lot. I would be that kid that sat in front of the TV and did whatever Mr. Dressup did. I always knew that I wasn't really the type of person to sit at a desk all day and, do that kind of a job. So I aspired to be a hairdresser. I wanted to use my creativity in that way. Unfortunately, after a few years of doing that, I discovered that my body just didn't really agree with that line of work for me, although it did really inspire me in the creative avenue of my life. With the pain that I suffer, it just caused too much that I had to move on from that. So what does one do when she can't do what she kind of wants to do? You go to an office job. Well, at that time, that's what I thought my answer was. So it took me many years to kind of find my groove, but I did find a wonderful company that I worked for, I think 13, 14 years. And it was like a family. They still are like a family to me. Although I had a great career with them, my body again was talking to me and telling me that this wasn't what my body needed. I was starting to have more and more symptoms, and they were all starting to kind of come together, and I was starting to realize the chronic pain that I had lived with since a child was connected to a lot of other symptoms that I had had for many years as well, which I didn't put together until this time, when it kind of came to a screaming halt, if you will, telling me that I needed to listen. And at that time, I had to reevaluate everything, and my doctors had said that I needed to take a medical leave to try to manage my symptoms better and to get my body to calm down. At that time, that's when we discovered that I had fibromyalgia. I did suffer from chronic pain for many years, but without knowing where it came from. I knew I had a bad back, but why? I've had a couple car accidents, so kind of chalked it up to that. But my pain started when I was, the earliest I remember is when I was 14, and I was quite athletic when I was young. So why does one have that much pain when, they're in good condition, they're healthy, essentially? So for many years, I kind of felt, I felt broken. I felt ashamed, and I felt lost because I didn't know what was happening with me and why I was having so many symptoms. But when this all kind of hit ahead and my doctor told me I needed to take leave, we thought it was only going to be for a few months, but what I discovered was that some of those symptoms, those progressed symptoms that I was having, were actually due from my office job. The migraines were from prolonged use, weren't all from prolonged use, but the enhanced migraines were from prolonged use of computers. I now know that I can only be on computers for so many hours at a time, or I can only be on computers doing certain things for so many hours, or any electronics for that matter. Without taking that space or taking that moment, I would have never realized that. I would have never imagined that my job at that time actually was contributing to my symptoms, because it was a desk job. I worked hard. My job was very mentally challenging, but physically it wasn't challenging. But in my condition, sitting at a desk for 8 hours at a time apparently was too much for my body, and it was causing all of these other issues. So anyways, it allowed me the time to reflect, realize, compare, and see what was going on with me. And myself and my pain specialist came to the conclusion that it really would be best for me if I could do my own thing, work on my own, have my own business, something of that sort, so I could have the flexibility to manage my symptoms while still having a career that supports a passion of mine, that also allows some great healing, because I find my art really is a therapy for me. It allows me to push through a lot of those symptoms because it's something that I enjoy. Sometimes it can almost be like a pain, replacing a pain pill, because not in all instances, but when I'm having a bad day, and taking to my art can help me manage and get through that, versus just jumping into pain medicine. I do take medications for my condition, but I do try not to take too much pain medication if I can. It's just something that I'm doing at the moment, and well, I can, but that's not to say that that's something that always happens or I can always pull through with my art. But I am fortunate enough that I have found something that I am passionate about, that I can do for work, that I can also use as a pain management tool. I hope me sharing that kind of stuff can help others maybe work through some of their stuff and maybe find some light in their own ailments that they have. So my goal is to see this journey through, to continue with my passion of art and art therapy for myself, eventually hopefully helping others with theirs, with their journeys and their art, and hopefully helping heal pieces of themselves through art therapy. That will come in time, but for now it's just this nice soft journey of finding myself through creativity, through love, compassion for others, compassion for myself, showing up the best that I can every day, but being compassionate to myself for the days that I'm not showing up 100%. It's not always an easy road, and every day is different. Sometimes every moment, every minute, every hour can be different for people with this condition. And so you just kind of have to learn to go with the flow. And one of the reasons I have chosen for the most part to do abstract art is because I have a tendency to have perfectionism and control issues. And so by doing the type of art that I'm trying to do, it is teaching me to let go of those things. And that is very important for me, because with having this illness, you have to learn to be okay with the not knowing, because that's what a lot of this is. There's still a lot of questions surrounding fibromyalgia and the other things that I am going through. It's just like a lot of compounding issues, but it all falls under the fibromyalgia. So doing the abstract work allows you to work on letting go of control, so I can help myself learn to let go of the fact that I no longer have control over every aspect of my body. But what I do have control over is how I react and how I manage and how I deal with those situations or those symptoms or those whatever. So that is what I'm working on, and I do find that abstract art has helped me through this journey. Now, it is a long journey. I am not 100% there. I had just started just over a year ago now, and I've had many ups and downs in this year. In all truthfulness, I thought I'd be further along my journey by now, but I'm not, and I've decided that I have to be okay with that. Be aware of your situation and be compassionate to yourself, because we find a ton of compassion for others and we lack finding it for ourselves. Life throws us a lot of curveballs. It's a journey, it's not a race. And although we want things now, we have to realize that things come when they are supposed to come. And we are thrown things at us in a manner in which we can deal with them. So even though I thought I would be further along in my journey by now, I am compassionately reminding myself that it's okay that I'm not. It's okay that I'm still figuring it out. And it's all happening the way it's supposed to. And that's okay, even though it didn't go perfectly the way I thought it would in my mind. That's a hard one. But I know you get it, because we all go through it. So that's kind of a little bit of my story and my journey of how I got here. The name Beautifully Broken was created just solely because, like I said earlier, I felt broken for many years. There was so many non-answers to all of the issues that were going on with my body. That's the thing about invisible illnesses. People look at you and they think, she looks okay. She seems okay. But yet she's complaining of all these things, but we don't see it. They're there. And it takes a really long time to get diagnosed. I was 14 is the first time I really remember dealing with chronic pain. I'm 41 now, and I got diagnosed a year ago at 40 with fibromyalgia. It took that long and that many years of my symptoms progressively getting worse, year by year, trauma by trauma, getting worse, for me to finally figure out that everything was connected and related, and that there was actually a condition for it, which doesn't really change things, other than the fact that I no longer feel crazy. I feel validated. And that means a lot to someone in my position. People feel alone in their illness. People feel shamed in their illness. People feel not seen in their illness. There's not enough knowledge out there about the illness. Unfortunately, there's still doctors out there that don't believe in this illness. Now, that is becoming way less. But if you would believe it or not, this illness has been around since the 1800s. They've given it many different names, but it has been around for that long. They've been studying it for that long. Yet, they still have issues with naming it and giving it relevance. I have a pain specialist and we deal with it. So obviously it is a thing. We do have more and more doctors acknowledging it, helping us. There are now a couple treatments that are actually FDA approved for fibromyalgia. So we are coming along in studies and in medications, but it is so far behind, and there are so many Canadians, let alone anyone else in the world, that are suffering from this, and they feel alone, and they feel unvalidated and unseen. And so it's time for us to speak up and tell them that you're seen and you're not alone. And we're going to fight until everyone understands that, because it is a central nervous system condition. It stems from the brain, from a dysfunction in the brain that causes a oversensitivity to your pain sensors. Now, that is a super simplified explanation, but it's actually from a genetic change in your body that rewires your central nervous system to constantly be in fight or flight mode. Now, just imagine, how does one's body function properly when it constantly feels like it's being attacked by a tiger or a grizzly bear or whatever, right? So it's no wonder that it's invisible, because people don't see fight or flight mode internally. That's internal. And it changes all the internal processes of our bodies. So yes, you don't see that. Yes, I look happy, I look normal, because we get very good at covering it up, because we have years and years before getting our diagnosis. I just want all of you out there to know that I see you. I know how it feels. And I hope that this message and possibly my journey going forward can be an inspiration to someone out there, that this illness doesn't have to be the end-all be-all for you. It can be an inspiration for a new life. It may not be the life. I get emotional over this. It may not be the life you expected, because I know it's not the life I expected or wanted. But it will still be a good life if you allow it to be. There's going to be many ups and downs, and you're going to fight through depression, and anxiety and lots of other things. That goes hand in hand with having chronic pain and other ailments. But if you find your passion, find something that works for you, find a reason to keep going, find that thing inside of you that reminds you that you are seen, you are heard, and you are not alone, then you will remember to keep living and to keep going and keep fighting another day. And even when you reach that doctor that makes you feel like you're not seen, you're not going to give up. You're going to go to the next doctor and the next doctor and the next doctor until you find someone that sees you for who you are and what is going on. Because we deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to be heard, to be seen, be cared for. And you deserve to have the best life that you can have. And you deserve to push yourself to be the best that you can be. Because at the end of the day, that's what we take home to ourselves, is that we have done the best that we can do for ourselves in that day. And that's what I have to say to you guys today. That's been my journey so far. Going forth, I am learning more and more about art, about the business, about my goals. This year, I think, is going to be a lot of pivoting and some slight changes in the business. I want to focus more on my art and probably some fashion. I really enjoy fashion, so I think I want to do that. I'm also wanting to focus on promotional items. I really enjoy designing promotional items for people's businesses and that kind of stuff. Those are kind of my goals for this year, but I'm not putting too much pressure on myself because my very first goal is in the next few months. I have a few courses that I bought last year on just some art courses, and then also just kind of some business courses on how to run the business, how to do social media properly, because like I said, I'm not really comfortable behind the camera, and I don't really know social media all that well. I know it a little bit, but it's still kind of foreign to me as far as using it business-wise. In the next 4 to 6 months, I'm really focusing on getting those things done and completed. I'm going to do a day in the life of Kelsey, just a little bits and pieces of what it's like for like a month of me doing my schoolwork, doing my artwork, building the business, just the kind of things that I'm working towards, what my health is like, and how I manage it and go about working it into my schedule. I am going to try to do that so I can get more comfortable behind the camera. They will not be this long, I promise. But I hope that you follow me and see what I've been up to. And please share and follow my pages. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have a newsletter that you can sign up for on my webpage. Again, that's www.beautifullybrokengreations.net. I currently haven't sent out any newsletters as of yet. That's a goal that I'm working towards. Promise not to spam you, but it's just where I can connect with people and going forward, telling you what's going on in the shop and what sales are happening and all that kind of stuff. So that will be more future based, but I would love for you to join my newsletter. Let me know what you think of this very long-winded post. I'm very sorry that it's long, but I wanted you just to get more of an essence of who I was, why I began this journey, what I was all about, and thank you for listening, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.